So we are going to play now with list views. So we are going to try to create a list view that has several strings that you can select, but we are going to use another combo box to make sure that you can determine by checking those combo boxes if you want to be able to select one item at a time or multiple items at a time. And we are going to display the items currently selected in the list view somewhere in a label. Okay, so let's start with renaming our basic template here. So I'm going to call this list views, save as list views Java. There we go. Make sure it compiles, no problem, and it doesn't do much, obviously, as usual. This is our starting template. Okay. So what are we going to do in there? We are going to we're going to start with a border pane, which we are going to call pane. So that's going to be slight modification to our template. We are going to have, in addition to the fields defining the size, we are going to have a field that's going to be the label in which we list everything that has been selected. So by default, we're going to say nothing has been selected yet in the list view. We are going to need a combo box. A combo box of string object, so CBO combo box string selection mode. So this is where we are going to specify, do you want to be able to do single selection only or multiple selection. And then finally we have our private list view. List view of strings also. We're going to call it LV, and this is where we're going to put like strings that we want the user to be able to select, like names of countries, for example, or whatnot. Okay, so we need to add a few things to our Java FX scene control. Yeah, control Java FX scene control. We need a label. Oops, let's not cut and paste typos. We can make them on demand. We don't need to replicate them like this. So let's go back here. There we go. So we need a label. We need a list view. That's kind of the main thing in this program. We need a combo box that is used to parameterize the list view. And for now, I think that's it. So let's compile. Did I forget anything? Yes, I did. Uncheck conversion new list view. Okay, so this has to do with generics. New list view. Yes. Let's not create what is called a row type here. Let's actually use generics properly. Okay, and then border pane. So I don't think I'm using a pane at all, so I'm just going to replace the pane by border pane. What else? And that's it. So if I run it, of course, it's not going to do much more, nothing more at all actually, but at least I have my my widgets here already defined. Okay, so now let's move on to the more interesting stuff. So we have a list view. Let's start by populating the option we want to make available to the user. So this is kind of a recurring pattern, right? You have those get items method that allow you to obtain a collection that is a collection of everything in that widget. For example, for the list view, that works also. So then we can add to that collection, you know, names, like for example, we want China, we want Japan, we want Korea, we want what else? India, we want Malaysia. Okay, we want Vietnam. Okay, all right, bunch of countries. All right, so we have here, we have prepared our list for the list view, the items, the list view. Now let's talk about the combo box. So selection mode, again, get items, we get a collection, and we add to that collection the selection mode we want to, modes that we want to allow. So single, multiple, CBO selection mode. So what's going to be the initial value? Okay, the initial value is going to be single selection allowed. So now that we have this out of the way, let's create a H box. Okay, and again, same template, same pattern, right? I get the children, so the name of the method is different, but it returns a collection of all the widgets inside that hbox, and I add to that collection. Well, I'm going to do things like this. Okay, first I'm going to create a label on the fly, so choose selection mode. Okay, and then I'm going to put the CBO selection mode combo box. Okay, so that's going to take care of creating that control here and putting a nice label in front of it. So once I'm done with this, a little bit of feng shui, set alignment, post center, taking care of how things are going to look, and then I can add to my pane. So I can do set top, put on top of the pane the hbox. Okay, and then in the center of the pane I'm going to put my list view. So I'm going to put my list view inside a scroll pane that I'm just creating on the fly. Okay, I don't need to store a reference to it anywhere. I'm not going to use it again. It's just a matter of allowing pretty much things to scroll in my list view, right? So the list view is inside of a scroll pane that is in the center of my pane, and then my border pane, and then at the bottom I'm going to have, well, the label. Okay, that is going to show pretty much the result of what we have. We should be able to see something. So let's first add our missing import statements. So I am going to use an hbox. All right, so that's going to take care of those warning, and then I need also a scroll pane. So again here, scroll pane, and now let's try to compile again. What did I forget? Scroll pane. Did I fish the scroll pane from the wrong? Yes, it's from a scene control, not a scene layout. Oops, my bad. So here's my scroll pane. I'm going to add it here. There we go. Let's reindent and compile. Okay, so this is looking a little better already. If I take a look at what I see right now, so I have my list view here. This list view can scroll if needed. I can make a single selection for now. Okay. I can change the selection mode, but it doesn't allow me to do, multiple selection yet, because I haven't actually hooked an event handler here. And also, whenever I change my selection in the list view, you can see that the item here, the label doesn't update, because once again I have not hooked anything here in terms of event handler. So let's close this. Okay, and let's get back to work. So what do we need to do next? We need to take care of those event handler. That might be a good time to do this. So let's go here. There we go. So let's talk about our selection mode. With that typo, that would be better actually. So on set on action, we are going to pass as usual a lambda. Okay, hold on. We are going to pass a lambda right here. So let's close that parenthesis first, and then let's open and close our lambda expression, as we always do. So what we want to do in here, we want to check what selection mode is currently selected. Okay, and we're going to test, is it equals to single selection mode. Okay, I forgot half of the stuff I needed here. There we go, single selection mode. And if that's the case, then we are going to configure accordingly our list view. All right, so list view.get selection model. That's the method that's going to allow you to get a reference, an object that represents the selection mode that is allowed. And we are going to do set selection mode on this, and we use the selection mode dot single constant. Okay. So let me see, closing parentheses, we should be good here. And if that's not the case and we don't want single, we want multiple, then we're going to use here the same syntax to simply say, well, then I want multiple as a mode. Okay, no problem there. So we have our first, our first event handler here that's taking care of the combo box. Let's see what we're missing. We're probably, yes, we're missing some things here. We are missing selection mode, so that should be a control. Yes, it is. Let's go back here. So we need to add this real quick to our import. Selection mode, okay, for the list view. Compile again, and let's run this. So we have here our event handler for the combo box. Okay, so simple single mode, single selection mode works still. Multiple selection mode, you can control left click and you can reselect, deselect, multiple items, but nothing is still displayed in our label here, so we need to work on that next. So there's going to be a little bit more involved here for making that, for pretty much reading that that selection and updating the label accordingly. So we are going to take care of that right here, right after we're done with our combo box. So what we want to do is lv.getSelectionModel, as we did before, okay? And then we call the method selected item property on that selection model object that was returned. And this is where we insert our listener. And our listener is going to be, typed as a lambda expression as well. All right. So our lambda expression is going to be as follow. So we want to build a list of items that have been selected. So we start with an item string that is empty. If nothing has been selected, we are just going to update the label and set the text of the label to selected items are followed by, nothing. That's fair enough, okay? Now, obviously, we want this items variable to have all the items that we selected. So we are going to do an iteration. We are going to ask the selection model again from our list view, and we are going to call getSelectedItems on this. So that's going to return to us a list of all the items that have been selected as strings. So we are going to iterate over all those strings, over that list of strings, by calling each of them in turn s. And then we're going to say at each iteration, well, let's concatenate, s to what we had before. So item plus equal means we concatenate again at the end of items, s separated by a space, so that we can have the list of everything that has been selected. Let's give it a compilation. So get selection model, get selection items. Yes, I am not cannot find symbols, so hold on. What did I mess up here? Get selection model, get selection item. So it's a method that is not found. I'm guessing I misspelled it. Get selection items, plural maybe. Let me see. Yeah, selection item. No, too much selection here and here. Get selected items is actually more appropriate. Let's try again. Yeah, that works a little better. Okay, so let's see. So selection mode single, let's start with that. China, Japan, I can go back. Yeah, everything is updating nicely. Okay, so selection single is working. Now let's engage selection multiple. There we go. So right now I have Japan and China. I'm going to add India. I'm going to remove China. So the remove is not really working, but Japan is. And next time I add something actually that it's updated. So let's go back here, basic test all of them, Japan, then Korea, then remove Korea, remove Japan. The removing is not handled. Okay, so we are going to have to look into that. But other than that, the addition is actually working pretty well.